Hello and welcome to the Comicspiracy episode 570 for the week of Monday, December 19th, 2022. This is also our final podcast for the year. We'll be off next week, but do not worry. We'll be back first thing in January for our best of 2022 episode, talking about the best and biggest of the past year in comic book stuff. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
And Kevin. Where are you, Charlie? I can't keep hitting the final note like that.
I just don't like the final note.
One day, Toby and Charlie will come back to this podcast on some sort of regular basis. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Who even knows how it's going to happen next year? Hey, so what about last week's podcast? Boy, that was fun, huh? Wow, we sure
ate crow fast.
Guessed that podcast sure aged poorly.
That is a time capsule, man.
Didn't it take wasn't it like the next day?
It was over the course of a few days. Yeah. So our previous episode, there was all these rumors about the future of the DC studios, and all these rumors broke. I was like, oh, it'd be fun to kind of go over these rumors. What do we think? It's like, nah, this is all bullshit. Oh, well, it turns out maybe most of it isn't. We're actually not going to start with that. I do have a couple other things to talk about first, but we will, don't worry, still the majority of this episode is going to be...
The funny part of that is it's a little like a lab experiment, and our accuracy rate on that last episode is probably pretty much how it always is. It's just that in this case, it's everything sped up. You can see it in like time-lapse photography. So you see us wrong in real time instead of wrong over a period of several months.
Well, it's interesting because a few things have kind of happened in the last, today that maybe we'll see. We'll see where everything ends up. Before we get to DC, we have a bunch of random stuff to talk about here.
You mean listener emails?
Some bad, some interesting. No, of course not. Some bad, some interesting.
Keep them coming, folks. Comicconspiracy at Gmail.
Some bad, some interesting. Which of course we'll talk about some comic book news to start. We have a comic book podcast.
Why do we keep lying to ourselves? We're just
10, 11 years ago.
It's 11 years ago.
I didn't think we'd 90% of our topics would be the movie and TV stuff, because I didn't expect it to become so much, but it is. It's such a big part of our industry now. One thing worth mentioning: long-time DC artist, been with DC for over 11 years now, synonymous with Batman. Greg Capullo is going to be heading over to Marvel to do some work. He has not been with Marvel, best of my knowledge, since the early 90s, X-Force era. He's not done anything in Marvel for a long time.
He did Spawn for a long time.
Yep. He did a lot of stuff at Image, long time at Image, long time at DC, and now seemingly coming back to Marvel to do some work. We'll know more later. I just thought it was worth mentioning because he has not really ventured back. He hasn't done anything in Marvel in 30 years, and then except for like some covers and stuff at Image, he really has. Oh, he did the Snyder. He did
We Have Demons.
Yeah,
We have Demons.
Yeah. So but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does coming back at Marvel. So that was worth talking about.
Are they giving him a Venom?
I don't know. I know the main Venom. I think what's his face? I think Brian Hitch left Venom, so I'm not sure where he's going next. I'm not sure where he's going to end up. Maybe he'll go back to DC and do JSA with Jeff Johns, because issue 2 and 3 are already super delayed.
That's
who didn't see this coming?
Kevin, pull
who didn't
stuff.
see this coming?
Could be pull stuff. Potential pull stuff.
You
get 12 issues of JSA in 4 years.
Oh, that first issue of JSA, that was super good.
Yeah. Do we need to get this on our pool for
2023?
Will issue 12 come out in 2023?
I'm not sure I would make that bet.
How's those doomsday clock numbers?
It happened. It came out. So big news dropped today. Bad news, of course. After a week-long sort of viral Twitter thread of all these creators talking about many publishers being very late or very behind on payments to them. One company specifically got mentioned numerous times, very publicly, and that was Aftershock Comics, which has been, I'd say, a pretty big mid-range publisher.
They've been pretty decent.
And it was co-created by, co-started by Mike Martz, longtime comic book editor. He was replaced just recently by Brian Cunningham, who worked at DC for a long time, and Chris Ryle, right from IDW, worked with them as well. But I kind of wonder if it was just trying to see if they could clean up some stuff, because as of today, Aftershock Comics has filed for bankruptcy, and this includes the. Now, Kevin, I don't know if you've read any of the specifics here. Aftershock Comics is a comic company. They are partnered with. They're not owned by, correct? They are partnered with a TV, like a production company.
I think it's called Aftershock Media. It's like
the whole parent company, right?
Is like the umbrella company.
Yes. So, but the comics part is what I wasn't sure. Reeve Gauche Television, Aftershock's comics partner in Aftershock Comic Media, television movie development, also filed for bankruptcy simultaneously. So the parent company, Aftershock Media, did not file for bankruptcy, but its two arms did. Basically, they created this merged company to take, like kind of everything in comic books, to take the comic books and license them out or get, make them into movies and TV shows and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you've, on the retailer end, a day doesn't go by where someone asks, who are all these comic books for? Well, like, there's a seeming like endless amount of comics out there. And my more cynical nature had been, well, it's a lot of companies trying to, it's much cheaper to make a comic book than it is to sell a movie script or sell a TV script. It's a cheap industry. You can get in real easy. You can crank out a ton of stuff with little or no concern. You're selling the product, so you can make a lot of that money back. And all you got to do is sell a couple pitches, and you're in, right? You're golden. I don't want to say Aftershock was created specifically for this reason, because they are good people working for them, both on the production end and on the especially on the creative end. But I did feel like a lot of these Aftershock titles, I'm like, and you're throwing a lot of shit on the wall. Let's see what sticks. And very little did. It's all and again, Aftershock is one of 1,000 companies that does this, right? It's just endless miniseries and endless short little runs. But they definitely have their fans. But clearly not enough was happening. And
but they're okay. I'm going to speak very sparingly on this because I know people who are involved.
Sure.
Not in the business end, but like in the company itself, not on the credit side. But the PR from the company is not that they're going out of business.
No.
Is that they're still going to be around. And this is like basically like nipping and tucking on the financial end.
Yeah, but when you're filing for bankruptcy, you clearly have overreached. Right. So I don't know if it's...
I just was saying it because I saw a lot of comments on social media of like, oh, well, RIP Aftershock, there's one fewer comic publisher. That's not what they're saying. Now, that might end up happening, but that's not what they're saying right now.
Oh, crap. I just published a book an article that said comic industry is dying just because Aftershock went bankrupt. Shit, I need to retract that.
They owe, so there's not specific numbers in here. Basically, they show like a range of creditors and debt. it is somewhere in the 200 to 1,000 people they owe money to, in the range of $10 million to $50 million. I don't think you get $50 million in debt because your comics aren't selling great. Like, to me, this feels like a lot of movie, TV end production that they're just, they're trying to get out there and get all these things turned into shows, and just nothing's really clicking. But there is, there is a who's who of the comic industry listed in this bankruptcy that is owed money by Aftershock. So just about every single person, every single freelance comic creator in the industry is owed something by Aftershock. I really hope all the creators get what they're owed. And there is some significant debts owed to printers and other vendors. No, I'm not like fuck Aftershock or oh, they're dead, nothing like that. No, they are filing for bankruptcy to Chapter 11 so they can restructure and come out. Hopefully everything gets paid off. Hopefully whatever caused this can be fixed. It's just, my concern is more that I think the streaming days are numbered. The crunch of endless Netflix, that the GIF meme of Netflix just here's money, go, right? Like, that is gone. Any of these companies that solely exist to just create IP after IP after IP, when you are creating content to be sold and not a comic book to sell to the comic book market readers for the, look, have whatever hopes you want that your thing gets, be Mark Miller and hope you get bought up by Netflix and turn in nothing. And one show, Jupiter Legacy, right? That's it. Great. Yeah, wonderful. But hey, he got his paycheck. All his creators got his paycheck. Great. Good for them. But like, less is more, guys. Like, I expected we're going to see significant cuts from every publisher like this in the next year. It's not sustainable. We're seeing, I refuse to be the store that only special orders single issues. Absolutely not. If it sells, it sells. We get copies. But the amount of independent and small press stuff that we're getting 0 to subscriber only is 99% of the comics at this point, right? It's so few that we actually, I feel like we do get decent amount of shelf copies of quite a few things, but that number is dropping as people are just like bored with the content, bored with the stories, bored with the content. There's just nothing exciting. Marvel and DC are doing fantastic as always. The big trades do great, but it has been a while since we've had like a book that really clicked. Grimm, maybe from Boom.
Yeah, but 8 months ago, Grimm, like I'm reading,
but it's dropped,
and I'm like, after reading issue 6 recently, I'm just like, nah.
See, but Boom is the one where I don't think this is their goal. Boom, I feel like they're making comics. And some stuff has got option, but I don't think their goal, to me, I feel like they're on the right path. They're like, we'll make comics. There will be peripheral stuff. And if it gets bigger, cool. But we are doing the thing we're doing. And it works. Dark Horse, obviously. Image, obviously. Boy, a lot of the other companies, it feels like, what's the goal here? What's your real end game here? I don't think comics are your main focus. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. None of these people are bad creators. They're I don't know if they were pitched to Aftershock because Aftershock would just publish anything. I don't know if Aftershock was going after everyone, trying to, look, we just need one hit. One hit pays for everything. One hit pays for everything. But who knows? Hopefully Aftershock can figure this out. I definitely don't want to see them go out. They publish a decent amount of titles, and they definitely have their fans. We'll see. I just hope the creators get paid. At the end of the day, that's the most important part for me, and I think hopefully for most people on this podcast.
Yeah,
it'll be an interesting couple months to see where they go into the new year. So I expect to see probably a significant drop in their output. Probably very few new series until this is all taken care of. But yeah, we will keep people updated as we find out more. Little movie TV talk before we get to DC. Before we get to the DC studio stuff.
This movie TV talk.
Well, yeah. Well, there's other movie TV stuff to talk about here. Superman and Lois, official season 3, more than likely the last season, but that will start 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, starting March 14th. Superman and Lois is great. I hope the last season's good. I expect this will be the last season. Maybe it won't be, but I expect it'll be the last season. And in the most shocking news, Gotham Knights is actually being made. This TV show. You guys remember this exists, right?
Yeah, I watched the trailer and wanted to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah, it's terrible. That is going to premiere after Superman and Lois. Now, look, I'll give it a shot. Maybe
Why?
it's good.
Why? Why?
I expect it'll be canceled after like 4 episodes. Maybe they get their 13-episode season and that's it. But boy, yeah, it looks terrible. Look, so it's Harper Row, right? Bluebird, her brother. Did he ever get a name? You ever get like a superhero name? I can't remember.
Superhero name? I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Wait, where is this streaming or showing?
CW.
Okay,
It was on CW right after Superman and Lois. Yeah, yep. DA Harvey Dent.
Hold on. Quick question.
DA Harvey Dent.
Before we continue,
Batman is dead, but Harvey Dent has not become Two-Face yet. So
hold on. That's
an interesting timeline.
How are we taking bets on whether or not they change the title to Batman Gotham Knights before it premieres?
I forgot all about this stupid thing. I remember watching. Was it
the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I was doing some homework. Yes, I'm the weirdo who does the homework for our best
Carrie
of,
Kelly and
our best
Carrie
of
Kelly
list.
and
And there were some things I was shocked to see had been in 2022. Like shocked. Was this in 2022 that they showed this trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The original trailer?
Yes.
I mean, it must have been this year where they showed it. Yeah, I think we heard about it before, but yeah, they actually showed the trailer. I mean, like Comic-Con or like a little before Comic-Con.
Yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten all about this thing until right now.
Spoiler, Carrie Kelly. That's look.
Yeah, it premiered like May 31st of 2020 or 2022.
In a perfect world, a show with Bluebird and Spoiler and Carrie Kelly. Okay, I love the Bat Family. I could totally be down with that.
That would be a great show for tweens.
Yeah, well, that's what this is, right? This could be maybe this is going to be a great show for tweens. I expect it'll be a terrible show for nobody and be canceled after 3 episodes. But yeah,
I think after like 2 episodes, we can get Save Constantine going again, and
a
good show.
I would guess that they don't have their new stuff yet. So look, if they got a season order, they probably get their 13 episodes or whatever. But there's no way. Unless it is like a ratings juggernaut.
I have a really quick.
I don't see how this sticks around.
Isn't the CW owned by Warner Brothers?
So no, not anymore.
Oh.
That's the whole thing, right? CW and CBS, right? Was that the other? Warner Brothers and CBS,
okay.
I believe, are the 2 owners. They own. Someone can correct me. They own something like 5% of it now. It's a Nexstar, but it's they're in the process of phasing out. It got bought up by some
big media
conglomerate that
sucking.
It's gonna be all imported shows, like and it's nothing original, reality shit, cheap garbage. They've canceled nearly every original show on the platform. I think
I'm surprised with the new company buying this out. They didn't take something from Warner Discovery and went like, yeah, let's just cancel it.
Well, my guess is they're just like, well, these things are kind of already in production. Like Superstar Girl was done, so they're like, we're just not picking it up for another season. Again, I do not expect either of these will get another season, which is really a shame for Superman and Lois. They're really good, but Gotham Knights, whew, yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Our final story before. Oh, sorry. We do have two. We have two stories. We have two stories before we get to the rest of the DC stuff.
Can I say one more thing about the Gotham Knights thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to be absolutely not surprised that two things named Gotham Knights tanked in the same year. Within a year of each other.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, this is everybody conjecturing without having seen 1 minute of this show. Everyone's favorite podcast.
I've seen like snippets of at least 3 minutes of this show.
That trailer was enough to get.
But my point is, this is another example of you're splitting it. You're going exactly down the wrong path because, Batman's dead. It's a grim and gritty Gotham starring these characters. Like, no one who wants a grim and gritty Gotham gives a shit about this. I shouldn't say no one. I should say, like, how about for an audience, instead of making it Batman is dead, how about this teams up to fight crime and Batman disapproves, so we have to sneak around behind his back. That's why he's never in the show, because we're doing everything like underground and behind the scenes.
Batman and the Outsiders.
Well, you're right. With Batgirl, Batman's just gone. Robin's gone. With Batwoman, sorry. I think they're all gone. Yeah. You're like, but okay.
But like
I guess never talked
the Silver Age Batgirl stories, the kind of the lighthearted, fun ones were Batman disapproving and her going out anyway and sneaking out on her own and fighting crimes and using the Bat name. So my point is, in bringing it up, why not do a lighter show with these characters to reach a younger audience instead of a grim show for an audience that doesn't care about these characters?
The current Batgirls comic is very fun, and I hope people are reading that. Yeah, if it's Cassandra Cain spoiler, and it's. I mean, look, it's dark because it's in Gotham, so it has villains and stuff, but it is a fun book with them and Barbara. So it's I don't know. But no, you're talking like a Batgirl team up show.
Yes.
Sounds amazing, but I don't know. This isn't it.
Right. Well, I mean, that trailer or whatever you want to call it made it look like a dark, heavy show with characters that seemed like they would be better served in a lighter, more fun adventure show.
Yep.
And I know you like the Titans, so let's not get into that. But that would be my
Titans is real hit or
that would be my same argument.
Yeah.
But anyway, onward.
Yep. No, I agree. Well, there was some talk of Sandman season 2, and the quote is that everything is on the table as far as how it's going to come out. It's not necessarily a traditional season. It may be split up. It may be weekly. It may be couple dumps randomly. Couple episodes. We may have won this one, guys. We may have won this one. That we may get Sandman weekly. We may get new episodes of Sandman weekly, not everything at once. There was comments that Netflix said that like the week-to-week viewing of the show was strong. I'm not the only we're not the only crazy people that did this. So it was not like
it's because people binged it like me, and then watched it weekly like a fucking homework assignment.
Maybe a little both. The Comic Conspiracy bump of the weekly binge. We got those numbers up. People watching it with us. So really. Please, I hope
influencer money. Damn it!
I hope Sandman is weekly. That would be fantastic. So we'll keep an eye on that as it comes out.
At this point, I don't give two shits whether it's weekly, dumped, all dumped all at once or spread out over time. Just give me Sandman.
Yeah.
Like, finish it. Like, you can do your spin-off shit later. Just finish the main thing.
Well, they're going to.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to. And now, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
We have the news. We have the news of the week. Okay, we have the news of the week. If you go back to previous episodes, you may have heard me talk about there's only a couple comic book movies I've never seen. That would be I've never seen Elektra. I've never seen Steel. I never watched the entirety of Catwoman. I saw the majority of a TV cut of it. So we'll have a deep cable TV cut with ads. So we'll call that watched. I'm pretty confident though of every, I've seen the Italian Captain America movie. I've seen the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie. I never saw I never saw Warzone. I keep forgetting about that. I actually do want to watch that. I never saw Punisher Warzone because that disappeared in the theaters like crazy fast. It was bombed. I just never got a chance to see it. So okay, well, it's 3 movies.
I have no idea what this story is you're talking about.
There will be a 4th movie that I will not see, or I have not seen, coming up, because every MCU movie, every DCU movie, I'm going to see, right? However, there is another Marvel and DC movie coming up that is unlikely I will watch, and that is the what's his face? What's his name? The wrestler thing.
What? I'm just sitting here going, man, maybe we just need to do a list of the comic book movies we haven't watched.
What is it? What's his name? El Muerto? Right. Remember the El Muerto movie that they were working on with the
Marvel Fantastic Four guy?
With the singer / wrestler Bad Bunny will be playing. Do you remember this?
I have. I feel like I've just dropped in from Earth 2 because I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea what this shit is.
Late April, it was announced that the one of the most famous musicians in the world, Bad Bunny, will be playing El Muerto in a standalone Marvel movie for Sony. Do you not remember this?
No.
I do not remember.
El Muerto is a wrestling-based supervillain that was in 2 issues of Spider-Man. There was in 2 issues of, I believe it was Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in the mid-2000s. We talked about this on the podcast multiple times.
I must have not. Brock, do you help me out here?
I don't remember, man. Like, I don't even really know who the hell he is.
I don't ever remember hearing the name Bad Bunny on this show. Ever.
Oh, no,
okay.
I know who Bad Bunny is.
Think
I just don't remember.
would have been mentioned because Ryan likes to just state.
I mean, until this, I'd never heard of this person.
Okay.
So sure.
Right.
Sure. So, well, we now have a potential 5th movie that, if it comes out, I could find myself struggling to make time to watch. Because, like, look, Morbius, Morbius is a real character that's been around, right? I want to see how bad it was, right? You remember there's a Kraven the Hunter movie coming out next year, right? Yep. I believe that's next year. Did they film that? Did they start that? I don't know anything about this. Is it real? Is it happening? Right? Again, that might be worth seeing just to see the nightmare that is like how bad a Kraven the Hunter movie is.
If it's a Kraven the Hunter movie minus Spider-Man, and you're not going to have him in the African wild shooting game, so
and he's a good guy.
So yeah, what? So in other words,
and he's hunting.
Yes,
hunting hunters.
So it's a brand new character.
Right. Well, the brand new character El Muerto is going to have another. There's another major Spider-Man villain getting a solo film from Sony. The one, the only Hypno Hustler. Apparently, starring and produced by Donald Glover.
Oh, well. That immediately puts it up several notches above all those other titles that you've mentioned. For me,
I like Donald Glover, but you're really not making a Hypno Hustler movie. I mean, you're just not.
What are you saying? These words.
It's just not going to be a Hypno Hustler movie. Like,
what are these words coming out of your mouth? Are these Peacemaker characters we're talking about here?
Hypno Hustler is a real character. He's a disco based Spider-Man villain. Hypno Hustler. He's been around for a long time. Man.
At this point, doesn't it feel like every Spider-Man villain name is just in a hat and you're just pulling random slips? Okay, who wants to direct the Grizzly? All right, who's doing the Gibbon?
Look, you put a Big Wheel movie up, you might get me.
Hell yeah.
You might be able to get me. Yeah. Hypno Hustler, I'm sorry, man. Sony, what the fuck is wrong with you, Sony? Just stop, okay? Just give up now. Just give up, because it's more. You're not gonna. It's all gonna be Morbius, okay? None of these are gonna be successful. Just none of these are gonna be successful. They can't be. None of these will be a hit. It's just not gonna happen. Look, you have Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 2099. That works. That's a character with a plot and story, and that's fun. It's in the future. You could do stuff with it. You want to do Spider-Woman? I'm down. All right. You want to do Black Cat? Totally down. There's a million. I say a million. There's a handful of characters that you've got that are gold. Hypno Hustler? El Muerto? Not.
So
Morbius? Not Kraven the Hunter? Like, why is he not a villain in a Marvel movie? Why is he a good guy in his own solo movie? Like, what are you thinking?
So,
what the hell are they thinking?
I was doing a little research on Hypno Hustler just to be like, what the heck? And apparently,
Hypno Hustler,
in a PlayStation or in a Spider-Man Friend or Foe game that was released in 2007, Spider-Man faces off against Rhino, and this dialogue happens. Starting to scrape the bottom of the villain barrel, eh? Who's next? Hypno Hustler. To which Rhino responds, I'll Hypno Hustler you.
No, Rhino's a real villain. Rhino's not scraping the bottom of the barrel. Rhino's like top 10 Spider-Man villain.
Would you want a solo Rhino movie with no Spider-Man?
No, I don't want to solo any of these movies. Like Venom, I think is fine. Venom, you can get away with. He's sort of this other thing. He's like the Punisher. You know, I don't want a solo Doc Ock movie or a solo Green Goblin movie. I don't want a fucking solo Hypno Hustler movie. He's the guy in the background. He's going to
team up with Mysterio. Add some.
He's the guy in the background at the bar with no name that gets his ass kicked when Daredevil and Spider-Man break in because they're looking for Mysterio, right? Like Hypno Hustler is the funny cameo in the background.
Or
like you don't make
Hypno
a movie
Hustler
about
is
him.
the guy who gets beat in the first 5 minutes before the real story starts.
Right,
Hypno
right.
Is Marvel's Kite Man.
I mean, he could be. He could be.
Storm King, get on it.
He could be. Man. What a fucking
all right.
embarrassment.
Ready?
What an embarrassment.
Ready? Okay. You're going for full price theatrical showing. Don't talk about streaming or DVD or whatever.
Yep. Sure. Friday night prime time.
El Muerto solo movie, Hypno Hustler solo movie, or Aunt May solo movie.
Aunt May.
Is it the Trouble solo movie? Is it the Trouble movie? The young Aunt May having sex
gross
movie by Mark Miller?
Fuck, why you gotta bring that shit up all the time?
Yes, I remember.
You remember this?
I remember.
I know what this is. I flipped through it and sold enough sets for the store.
We'll just go with it's the Marissa Tomei Aunt May from the current movie.
Man, 1,000%. Like, yeah, what's she doing? I don't know, just hanging out making wheat cakes. Like, yeah, fine. I have no problem with that. I've totally seen an Aunt May movie.
She's a hip, older.
She
give it to me. I don't care.
Yeah, she getting the shenanigans. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kraven, like you're describing the plot of Kraven the Hunter, right?
The plot that I read was that he is like an animal lover that like hunts big game hunters, and it's like that's not. That is the exact opposite of what he is. He is a big game hunter that is like, oh, I've fucking killed everything. Now I'm gonna hunt superhumans. Well, Spider-Man specifically, right? But like no, that it's not a fake. It's not a fake lion thing on his chest. He killed the lion.
Hey,
he's a villain.
Got really excited that the most dangerous game is in the public domain. Let me just say,
the most dangerous prey of all, man. Yeah. Ay, Sony, what are you doing? What the hell? Like, it is insanity to me. Yeah. It is absolute craziness. And even if you wanted to take the characters they introduced in Spider-Verse, you want to do like a Spider-Man noir movie, or you want to do like a solo, like Peter Porker, like like animation movie, like some wacky fucking like Roger Rabbit. Yeah. Like, oh man, that'd be incredible. Yeah, like a real grimdark Spider-Man noir movie. That'd be really cool. Like, you could totally do stuff like that. Look, I kind of don't like the Spider-Verse stuff, but I don't like but never. You have the characters if that's what you want to do. And 2099 is such a no-brainer. How is there not a live-action 2099 movie on the schedule?
Like that costume is amazing. Like just the costume alone.
Fucking Miles Morales. How about Miles Morales? Why is there not? What are you thinking? Like. It is crazy. It is insane. It is absolute insanity. Fuck, dude. I'll take a Spider-Gwen movie. Okay, like out of all those, even over like Morbius, I'd totally take a Spider-Gwen movie. Like, oh, whatever. She's stupid, but
like, sure, I'll take the Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Verse movie. Yeah, but she's a live action where you have to introduce who is Gwen Stacy, why does she have fighter powers, she's from another universe than this, blah, 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 blah. It's just like so much heavy lifting for a nothing.
Yeah. You just make her Gwen and you give her powers in the real universe.
All right.
Doesn't matter. Sure, whatever. Like, who cares? Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Let's talk about all the nightmare that's happening in another company, DC. Last week's episode was a lot of fun where we tried to guess what was going to happen, and in the months and years just for these rumors to come true or false, or hours or days, as the case may be in a lot of these. I'm going to go through. This is chronological. I'm not doing any of this in order. So I'm not doing this in like any specific order. This is just as they are chronologically in my feed here. So let's go through this. And so I'm just we'll just comment on them as they go.
Wait, what are we commenting on? Our take from last week, or
just if you remember what your take was?
I thought you could humiliate us all by just playing the clips.
Go to the tapes. Go to the tapes. Patty Jenkins did not leave. She did not walk away from Wonder Woman 3, according to her. All the stuff with her seemingly happened outside of James Gunn and Peter Safran. They have met with her and had pleasant and professional conversations, according to James Gunn. So, I will read her tweet or read her quote here. It says, "Here are the facts. I originally left Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars movie she's working on, after a long and productive development process when it became clear it couldn't happen soon enough. And I did not want to delay Wonder Woman 3 any further. When I did, Lucasfilm asked me to consider coming back to Rogue Squadron after Wonder Woman, which I was honored to do so I agreed. They made a new deal, and in fact, I'm still on that product and have been in active development ever since. I don't know if it will happen or not. We never do until the development process is complete, but I look forward to the potential ahead." So that's her specifically talking about coming back to Rogue Squadron. When there started being backlash about Wonder Woman 3 not happening, the attractive clickbait false story that it was me that killed it or walked away started to spread. This is simply not true. I never walked away. I was open to considering anything asked of me. It was my understanding that there was nothing I could do to move anything forward at this time. DC is obviously buried in changes, so they are having to make. So I understand these decisions are difficult right now. So our talk the other week was, they're going to continue the DC universe. Of course, they're going to do Wonder Woman 3. Of course, maybe it will be someone else. But look, they're not going to redo everything. They're not going to. I believe it was our last rumor was that they were going to literally scrap everything and start fresh. And I believe we were all very confident that was not going to happen. So that's Patty Jenkins' comments on Wonder Woman 3. And I think I think there's a chance, right, that they do come in an agreement and they do bring her back in and they do work with her. Because, again, this is the new people, right? Whatever James Gunn and Peter Safran want to do, right? It seems like everything was basically killed. Any future projects were killed while they figure out what they're going to do. So with the Wonder Woman, it's really up in the air. There's actually some new info the last day or two that will come a little bit later in this. So we'll get to that specifically about Wonder Woman in a few minutes here. I don't know. I guess why don't we play the same game? Why do we think? What do we think? I mean, so do you think they'll have her back? Do you think, forget Gal Gadot? Do you think Patty Jenkins comes back at this point? Because I feel like that's tough. Like she could maybe produce or work on it or something, but I don't know. She's going to be tied up with Lucas for a long time. It seems like if that Rogue Squadron's still going to happen. So I would think Wonder Woman's going to be on their fast track, and if she's not available, they're just going to go without her.
I mean that's how Hollywood operates.
Yep. Yeah.
Kevin, it's one of those things where you say, like, if I could time travel to last week's show, I would say in hindsight, if you said, I would say the only way I see Gal Gadot not being back as Wonder Woman is if Patty Jenkins is not back, and then it's a either real or it's a PR face-saving act of solidarity. Well, I'm not going to come back either without her. So I say you have both of them back or you have neither of them back would be my prediction.
Yeah. I guess to kind of get the big story out of the way up front, just so we have a little more expanded topics to talk about here while we're discussing this. It basically sounds like the entire DC universe is getting recast. They are going to start fresh. 2023, Aquaman will be the final movie. 2024, Joker is currently the only movie on schedule, which will leave 2025 more than likely when they start back with new movies and more than likely a complete new cast for everyone. We'll get specifics in the upcoming stories, but do they bring her back? It sounds like they're not for Gal Gadot, but I know. I get it, all right? I believe we even said this. If you're afraid of the actors having aged too much and you need to have the characters younger because they've wasted a decade, right? Yep. I understand the complete reboot, the complete start from scratch. So, I just didn't expect it. Within hours, there is a report that Robert Pattinson would be the DC Universe Batman under James Gunn, to which, and again, good on James Gunn for being like incredibly upfront about this stuff and just very public and immediate. Immediately tweeted, absolutely untrue. So James Gunn is not going to bring in the Pattinson Batman into the DC extended universe. Whatever, who knows? Maybe down the road or whatever. But sounds like there is talk of there will be a new Batman. There will be a new Batman. And that makes sense, obviously that world seems pretty unique. Just like Joker, like I don't need Joker to be the DC Joker. It's just a separate thing.
And we talked about this a little bit when we were talking about, Ryan, if you and I ran DC Studios, which was, if your objective being hired is to build a universe and lay the ground fertile ground for other people to come along and plant and have things grow. Look, this is nothing against the movie, the specific movie that came out. I'm not commenting on that at all. I'm saying if I were them or if I were us, there is no way that Pattinson Batman would be the Batman I'm anchoring our DC universe around. An adult R-rated Batman is exactly the wrong direction if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, if you're trying to make a big connected universe where the kid that plays the video game with a Batman can then go see the movie Batman, it's not this Batman. Look, it's great. I fucking love Batman. I loved the Batman. And if you want to do a bunch of movies, like, you know, this seemingly goes against David Zaslav's comment of we're not going to have 5 Batman running around. Well, you kind of have to, right? I mean, that's the Teen Titans Go Batman is not going to be the Arkham Knights Batman, which is not going to be the
Harley
DCU
Quinn
Batman,
animated Batman. Or
yeah, like, so you're going to, but sure, you want these things to connect. So, yeah.
Well, I think the problem is saying everything connect and doing all this stuff is like, I understand what you're going for with trying to mimic what the MCU is, but at the same time, right, you've established things as more of multiverse, levels are different, all that stuff. If you're resetting your main universe, that's fine. Having these pockets of things that are just different is fine, right? Like the fact that the Teen Titans Go Batman and the Harley Quinn Batman and the video game Batman and like they're not all the same. They share a similar trait in like story, but it's different, like tiers, right? Like, you know, Kevin said the R-rated Batman. I'm like, yeah, I want an R-rated Batman. Like, the dark stuff can be good, right?
But Brock, here's what I would say back as the head of DC, as the imaginary head of DC, and it's not directed at you. It's directed to, I would say this to whoever was sitting in that chair and made that comment. We're not making this universe for you. You are an afterthought. If you want to go see it, then that's great. We're happy. I'm trying to reach teenagers and tweens, and I want to build an audience. I want to do exactly the opposite of what the comics have done. The comics are all for adults. In the movies, I need to get kids in there. I need people who come from video games, cartoons, all walks of fandom. So you wanting an R-rated Batman, candidly, and you could say it to me if I had made the comment, is not relevant to us.
No, it's not. The fact that there is one, though, right, because you have an established Batman like following from your previous films, and those people have aged up to this R-rated, right? Like the pocket can be there. It's the main universe that one you're trying to emulate the MCU, right? You want the DC movie universe to be like the Marvel one, where you have like God knows how many films pop out of this thing that are connected and all of this stuff. That, yes, you need to aim it for as many teens and tweens and a little bit younger than tween as humanly possible, right? Fuck the adults. They don't, like adults, whatever. They're going to go see it regardless. It's that age group right there. You want the kids telling their parents, I want to go see this. I want this. I want this merchandise, right?
It's the exact answer. It's not a kids movie. It's an all ages movie. And a lot of these movies, you know, most of the Marvel movies are appropriate for all ages. There could be some action and there could be some violence, but you know, I would say they're equivalent to Star Wars. They're equivalent to, you know...
Yeah, they push PG-13 in a few more so than others.
But but it's equivalent to, like, the stuff we grew up on, where it's like, yeah, there's maybe some adult humor or adult things in here that we don't really get, but they are accessible to an all-ages audience. You know, The Batman, I think it's a fucking incredible movie. A lot of kids are probably going to fall asleep during half of it. Like, it's a bit much. Yeah. It just tonally, even if you take out any violence or language or anything like that, like, just tonally, it's not.
It's that detective aspect. When we talked about it, when we watched it, it was, look, we actually have a detective movie where Batman's being a detective, right?
Yeah. Well, and Kevin, I mean, me and you have both said this multiple times, right? Like, I actually think it's the mistake to copy Marvel. I think the correct path is to have everything.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have it connect, then it has to be all ages accessible.
And I think we were talking about that on that hypothetical managing DC show, which is my argument would be the core characters, to repeat myself, I'm putting a fence around. Those are all ages, period. Peacemaker, Constantine, Harley Quinn, Watchmen on HBO, all of that shit, great. Knock yourselves out. Theatrically, the core Justice League, all ages, and don't come in with a pitch that's not that. I don't want to hear it.
Yep. Well, this is going to be a test because the very next day, the story broke.
That would be Wednesday.
Henry Cavill officially out. Ironically enough, actually was never back in, but as we learned, officially out as Superman. Henry Cavill will not return as Superman, and James Gunn, the person I specifically said should not write a Superman movie, is going to write and probably direct James Gunn is going to write and direct what will be the first DC Studios movie, Superman. All but guaranteed.
So this will be the first thing recast as Lois? Is that what's happening?
Now it is going to be a younger. Well, the irony, the funny part is, he says they're going to make it a younger Superman. It's going to be like him first starting out. But that was Man of Steel. That was his first day as Superman, was in Man of Steel. So I think that's kind of funny. But look, despite what fans probably want, and despite what, maybe what I want, if you're going to start from scratch, you have to start from scratch, right? You have to start over. It's just, and he had all sorts of tweets about how hard this was, and but they're doing what's best for the characters, and they're going to leave this. You just gotta burn it all, start from scratch. None of that other stuff. The continuity. Oh, the tone. Oh, do I have to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League to know Superman? No, you start from scratch. It is the right decision. I didn't think they would do it. I thought they would middle it and try to keep what they can.
You thought they would New 52 it.
Just massage what works and get rid of what doesn't, and keep elements of it and sort of try to piece this together. This is the right move. I think at the end of the day, this is the right move. Ben Affleck, seemingly, I don't know that I have not seen like an official comment by him, but seemingly completely out as Batman. He is in talks to direct. Basically, Cavill has been in talks to play another role or another character or some other role within DC Studios, not necessarily a character like an acting, but he's been in talks to do something for DC. Thank you. And Ben Affleck is in talks to direct. Gal Gadot seemingly out, more than likely. Flash was out either way.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to get him back. Today, what's his name? Ray Fisher. If Ray Fisher wanted any chance of getting back in, he burned those bridges today as he continued his tirade against every single person that ever has worked at Warner Brothers and attacked James Gunn on social media today. So good luck with your career, buddy. You're not doing a great job of making anyone want to ever work with you.
Well, I'm sure in hindsight, I'm certainly super excited about that post-credit scene in Black Adam. That was awesome.
Well, it's funny because that is another story we have here. So we'll get to that in a second. Superman out.
Did you see Gunn replying to those idiots on Twitter about Superman? Did you see this?
I've been linked linked to some
because because there is so my all-time least favorite social media response actually does not have to do with this, but challenging it for number one, not quite there, but challenging my all-time least favorite for first place is the following, which I will read. After James Gunn said it's not an origin story, what he's making is not an origin story. Here is the response. I'm not even going to say the tweeter's name. I'm just going to read the tweet verbatim. Ready? Son, period. You said that it will be him. Oh, you said that it will be, period, capital H, him meeting people for the first time is an origin story, period. How much did Disney pay you to screw over the, all caps, one thing DC had going for it, question mark. You know, it's always good when they lead off with son when speaking of the director. And Gunn actually replied, I would have muted and blocked that account immediately, but he actually replied and said, he's not meeting the major characters for the first time either. He's merely younger.
Yeah.
God, I'm getting New 52 deja vu.
Well, right. I think if you're going to muck around with the origin, you need to acknowledge some of that, but it doesn't need to be an origin movie. I think you can, if you want, take what has worked for these movies, take some of that continuity, take some of that story. But I personally, the more I thought about it, you got to get away from the Snyder Cut, guys. You gotta, what? It was incredible that it came out. It was very good, but maybe the worst decision in Hollywood history to give those people a voice and give those people and listen to those people and give them validation. Like, fandom must be ignored and you must do the exact opposite at all chances. Right?
No.
I'm going to quote Stan Lee. We've said it on this show before. Never give the fans what they think they want.
Yep. You can come off as being a little like, the studio is always right. But at the end of the day, the groupthink of these fan communities is like so incredibly toxic, and they always want something that's so.
The problem is the Snyder
unoriginal.
The Snyder Bros aren't necessarily something that's fan based. Like, true fandom will appreciate stuff, will get behind things, will wait patiently, right? Like, if there's enough there and enough passion, then yeah, things can come to light. I think what it is a basically wheelhouse of trolls and bots and all of that stuff, is what they kowtowed to. And when you do that, sets a new precedent.
But you're right. I consider myself a fan of Zack Snyder's DC movies. I am not a Snyderverse guy.
You're not a troll specifically there to get clicks, get attention, get eyeballs on you, to say, look what we did. We accomplished something in probably the worst possible way. Was what they got way better than what we actually saw? Yeah. Is the studio always right? No.
No, of course not. Right? Of course not. But bowing to the fans is the biggest mistake, because they feel ownership and control when they are not. They are the customer. They are not the maker of the product. And giving customers...
Normally people who are working on these IPs are fans of the...
That's not, I'm not saying fan is in someone that appreciates something. I'm talking about the...
Well, you have to label it something different. You cannot call That's the problem, is saying this fandom is, you can't kowtow to the fan. You're kowtowing to the trolls and the bots and all of that stuff. You're kowtowing to a machine, right? Because if you look at, if anything, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of it, over time, it's been written by people who loved it in the first place, right? Who became successful and was like, look, I'm now,
but you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying you can't be a fan of something, you can't enjoy something and then work on it and do good. At this point, the entire comic book industry, top to bottom, every company, every publisher, every creator is a comic fan as well. So everyone making music is a music fan. Everyone in Hollywood is a fan of TV and film. So that's not what I mean. I'm talking about when you have, if you listen to Star Wars people, there would be no women or black people in any Star Wars movies. There would be.
So you're talking about trolls again.
But this is the fandom. I don't mean you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, don't label fan with what these people are.
They are.
They are gatekeepers. There are people that are wanting to basically say, no, what I want is what's the most, and then you're kowtowing to them. You can't lump them in with the same thing. I understand your concept. I'm telling you, word it differently, because that's where that's the feeding frenzy comes from. Right?
Well,
that's why I say, call them trolls, call them gatekeepers, call them assholes, call them whatever you want to call them, but don't call them fans in the sense of like, well, you can't give fans what they want. If at that point you just say they're customers, like you just said, and customers aren't always right.
Well, regardless, I don't know if this turned into a thing. Anyway, Superman, Henry Cavill's not going to be Superman, and James Gunn's writing a Superman movie, and that's going to be pretty crazy. And Ben Affleck is out as Batman, and he'll be directing a movie. Where's my next thing? But coming back to what Kevin was saying before with The Rock, there's a lot of wonder what happened there, and it is now pretty apparent that The Rock had used this movie to basically try to get himself into DC Studios and Warner Brothers, and people within an insider. All right, again, who knows about any of this? A big, the kind of soft box office numbers for Black Adam. Some of that had to do with maybe some of the pullback. You know, if Black Adam was a huge mega hit, maybe Dwayne Johnson would co-running DC films now. I don't know. But there was a this is the quote. In the end, he was a pawn for Dwayne The Rock's failed attempt to control a piece of DC. So this is from Hollywood Reporter that there was like a lot of this, all this Henry Cavill stuff. Again, no contract, no anything, just a promise from The Rock that you're going to be Superman and you're back, and that was just never the case. So I would think Black Adam is done. I don't know. Maybe it did well enough, and they consider really doing more. Streaming. But it did really
streaming
well
numbers are really, really good.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just waited because again, people aren't going to the theaters nearly as much anymore. We don't have time for it, Kevin. But those Avatar numbers. Of course, I'll wait till week 2 or week 3. But if you want to see the box office,
the media is trying to spin those so hard, and I'm like,
if you want to see the box office subreddit just collapsing in on itself right now, it's so beautiful. I just
you just wait.
Wait
till all the dollars are counted.
I'm waiting.
He has to wait for this weekend, because if it's more than 50%, Ryan's going to be a pig in shit.
Monday was
no, Ryan said 850 worldwide is the final total. So I'm saying you got to wait till the final total is in before you can start dancing naked.
Oh, I think it's it'll probably break $1 billion, but like I said, breaking $1 billion is not enough. Not for this. Anyway, report also that Henry Cavill did film a scene for The Flash, and that has been pulled. There's also talk that Gal Gadot filmed the scene for a Flash, and that has also been pulled. Now, it's funny. The original rumor I had heard of this, she had a scene that was in Shazam.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's related. It could be cross wires. It could be total bullshit in both cases. I have no clue. But possibly Flash was going to set stuff up. Now, if I was James Gunn, unless something in the Flash specifically affects Aquaman, why don't you flip-flop those two? Why don't you put Flash out in December? Maybe shoot a little post-credit scene where, you crisis everything, not just him. Why don't you just have fun with it and be like, yeah, we're just going to, here comes the old red skies. Oh, everything's different next time. Here we go. Here's our reasoning. That works for me. Throw a little anti-monitor in the background. Give someone something, give us a 10-year plan here. Get the anti-monitor in Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's how you kill the Justice League, the Snyderverse Justice League. Just anti-monitor it in the end. Barry's running. All of a sudden, you see the white. That's just how the movie ends.
Is that Crisis or 0 Hour? I can't remember.
Both. Huh? Finally, and now this was today. So, pretty concrete news from James Gunn directly that basically they're starting over. There's going to be some, obviously some stuff may stick around, but for the most part, they're starting over. He did release a new statement today that says we are not recasting everyone. Let's see. Yeah, because he talking about best for the story, best for the DC characters. Let me grab the quote here. No one loves to be harassed or called names, but to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect our actions. We were aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us. This means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians in helping to create a wide and wonderful future for DC. In replying to another tweet, he says, I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory about them, about everything being recast from the beginning. We are not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. And that Blue Beetle will still be coming out. So yeah, that was they're like, yeah, they're gonna keep his movie and everything else gets recast. So this goes back to what I said earlier about Gal Gadot and other stuff. It's possible that a couple things will keep through. I think it would be unfair to Blue Beetle getting caught up in this.
Somebody asked him on Twitter about Blue Beetle specifically.
Yeah. So Blue Beetle is going to happen, but if that movie is successful, it would be unfair if that character doesn't get brought over, because I can't imagine the Blue Beetle is tied in at all with any of this stuff, right? The big guys I kind of get. You want to start fresh. You want to start young. Flash, you got to get rid of. You got to get rid of them. Like, there's just.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they recast the entire DCU but brought back Ezra Miller as the Flash? It's a one carryover.
Yeah. Aquaman, I'm still like, look, Lobo's fine, but like, if Aquaman 2 is a hit, I mean,
well, I think the issue is if you're trying to go older, Momoa's just getting older, right?
What about Zachary Levi? If Fury of the Gods is a hit,
yeah. So Shazam is the other one that I think it's pretty disconnected, and I would be very disappointed if we lost Shazam, because I think the odds. So look, Shazam is all Jeff Johns, right? There's no chance we get another Shazam movie if he gets just completely cut. Look, I don't need 20 of them, but if they're like, nah, Shazam's done, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything else with Shazam. I'd be disappointed with that. I get everyone else. Even Aquaman, I think they could keep it going, but Wonder Woman, I get. For an immortal character, it is unfair, but you got to kind of recast that character on a fairly regular basis. Superman, sure. Again, I get getting away from all the Snyder people just because of the toxicity. Affleck is not going to do more Batman, so you've got to recast him. Flash, Miller's got to go. So look, you're four of the five. So I guess you just give Momoa whatever. We
got 6 because Ray shot himself in the foot.
Oh, well, yeah, he's not. No, he does not. No, he's not even. He's not even. Ray Fisher's not even in the conversation. No. He's not in the conversation at all. Yeah,
I mean, technically, we have to recast Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, and who didn't they have? Jon Stewart too. Like, didn't he shoot a scene with the Jon Stewart actor like in his driveway or something? Yeah. So, those guys will have to go as well.
Ryan Reynolds coming back or not?
Oh, as Green Lantern, dude, I'd fucking love it. You kidding me? Oh, geez, I'd love it.
No, dead.
But I don't think so. But I
don't think so. Anything else we were wrong about? Does that cover it?
So that's the majority of it. I
did read somewhere that they're still going with that Black Superman movie.
Oh yeah, with
I can't remember
what's the
Coates?
Tom that's writing. But yeah, what's the actor's name? Oh God, what's his name?
I don't remember.
I don't remember ever hearing that there was an actor for this. Who am I missing?
It's
it wasn't it the Watchmen guy?
No, that's Wonder Man.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Isn't it
Michael B. Jordan?
Yes, Michael B. Jordan. Thank you. Yeah, so this would be my perfect DC and Marvel situation. You have a line of interconnected continuity movies, TV shows, whatever you want. But then you do the other stuff. I'd be really disappointed if the Joker and Teen Titans Go and Arkham Asylum and Injustice and things like that get killed for in continuity movie verse. Like, do whatever. Like, you don't have to. You can have other stuff too. I don't like that. I don't feel the need for like that. To me, just like really stifles creativity. And if everything has to fit into the box of everything else, because I don't, like you were saying earlier, I don't want everything to be tepid PG-13. Cool. Give me G. Yeah. Give me R. Give me both extremes, right? So you sure you can do
the NC-17 The Pro movie.
Well, you can do the President Superman or Val Zod Superman movie and have it be in continuity, quote unquote, because of the multiverse, of course. But things like that should be allowed to be their own thing and not be tied to the rest of the universe, because
we've talked about this
it's not fair
over and over again in comic books, right? Like there's this continuity that Marvel and DC kind of try to maintain, but sometimes the best stories come from things that are not tied to continuity, right? Like
it's almost always almost always but the best stories. Yeah,
but it's one of those things where it's like you kind of you kind of have to just let things
it's because it allows them to be unique, right? Yeah. I mean, Dark Knight and Watchmen exist, Red Sun, All these things exist because they're just allowed to be these oddball side things, and they're easy pitches. They're easy to give to someone. The monthly comic book is tough for the average person. The movies, this is my fear of the Marvel stuff, is like it's homework to people these days. It's a lot of stuff. I think most people would rather pick and choose and go to what looks good, and because obviously movies have some levels. But if you're like, oh, I have to have watched these 12 other movies before I go see this Justice League movie, well, that's it's Marvel did it, and it worked so incredibly well for so long. But post Endgame, you've seen the attrition finally hit because they hit that peak, and it's impossible to keep that going. Marvel would be very smart to cut back, do some original stuff, do some standalone stuff, and you rebuild.
Well,
not really, not yet.
Sorry.
Well, Sony's making the same mistake, just with characters nobody gives two shits about. DC can have their cake and eat it too. They can have the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Justice League, Aquaman, all connected, all part of the same universe. I want that, but give me the unique stuff as well. Give me the oddball side stuff. Give me Doom Patrol. Give me, even the Gotham Knights. You don't get Superman and Lois if there's a Superman movie and that's Superman, right? You don't get Stargirl, right? You don't get that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful for all of it. James Gunn's not stupid. He knows these characters and he knows the world. With him writing a Superman movie, man,
Guardians 2.
He's got to have someone that can tone him down. He can't. He's not stupid. Yeah. I mean, the Guardians, the Suicide Squad is not Superman. He knows.
Well,
this, right?
He put a long piece of tribute up last week to Superman the movie on the anniversary.
Yeah, he has to know, like, there can't be like dick jokes and stuff in a Superman movie. He can't be that dumb. Like, so please, like, and the one thing about his movies, it doesn't always hit, but there's generally kind of more heart in his movies than any other superhero movies. Like, what was so shocking about Peacemaker was how good he had the interaction with those characters and the friendships.
Well,
that those characters.
It's the shitty you might come from a shitty family, but you can make a family of your own. That was like the underlining
Guardians
thing.
2 was such a miss, and I really would love to know what happened there. But the holiday special was fun enough. It was a little over the top, but his heart is in the right place in that movie. And Guardians 1, for sure. Peacemaker, for sure. Suicide Squad didn't really have it as much, but there was a little bit of it in that.
Well, I think that was more of like a father-daughter, like more of a
in Peacemaker or in Suicide Squad,
like
Ratcatcher.
It was like Ratcatcher and Bloodsport. It was kind of like that parent, like, and you had like the parent thing with Polka Dot Man, right? Like, it gave vignettes of things.
Yeah, if you can take what clicked with Guardians 1 and Peacemaker and apply that to Superman and take out I don't mind if there's some humor in it, but take out the James Gunn humor and make it a little bit more of a straight movie. I think he could do okay. I don't want. It's got to be. He's got to tone way down the humor.
Well, again, so
there can be funny parts. You can Lois and Perry and Jimmy. You can do stuff.
Yeah, you can do stuff with those characters. You can have you can have some of the funny stuff that comes out with Superman interacting.
Clark
interacting, but even Superman, right? Like even Christopher Reeve's Superman had some funny stuff happen when he was.
Oh yeah, no,
right.
If he can take the Christopher Reeves model for the humor between Clark Kent and Lois Lane, perfect. If you can get that relationship right, then you get the movie right. That's the hardest part. God, I'm fucking hopeful. Wouldn't a good Superman movie that everyone loved be an amazing thing?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
I really like to see the rocket crash and all that stuff again. For one,
be short. Doesn't
it doesn't have to be long. Like I've been,
you could show that as a montage in the opening credits. You don't even need to waste any movie time on that at all.
Yeah, you don't need to waste like tons of time. Like we get it. Like we've established it numerous times.
Oh, opening scene is in Metropolis. Yeah. Like I look. I love the Kents. I love Smallville. I love. Look, you want to do a Legion? You want to do a Superboy show? You want to do a Superboy movie? You want to bring in the Legion? You want to do some wacky Silver Age hijinks? 1,000% behind that. The big movies, he's Superman. Like people know.
Yeah.
You just go straight to Superman. I don't know. Lee Weeks has been doing a lot of stuff because he's going to be doing action, right? Currently.
He's doing one of the stories?
No, I don't know if but like his artwork he's done a lot of, he's been doing stuff for action, but like I kind of envision like that's kind of the Superman story we need, is that Lee Weeks style that he's brought to the character recently. So that would be really cool.
Yep, I am hopeful. Again,
so 2025, this is going to be a really interesting podcast.
There's not a lot of solid news other than the Henry Cavill stuff, but seems like most of it's getting.
Well, he did say that they'd be announcing their first slate after the new year, so you'll have news. First movie, Superman solo movie, Metamorpho, Plastic Man.
They've announced slates before, and they didn't really happen, so we'll see if this one hits. Okay, here's something to go out on. First 3 movies.
Prediction or what you want?
2025. 3 movies are coming out.
Wait,
they're hauling ass.
Are you asking for a prediction?
There are 3 movies in... What's your prediction? There are 3 movies in 2025. What are they?
What you think will happen, not what you would vote for. Right?
Either way.
Oh.
I mean, Superman.
We get 3 a year. We get 3 a year. Where do you start?
Superman. I mean, okay, I'm going to say Superman for sure. I bet $1,000 on that being number 1.
Yeah.
Green Lantern. Because I think you. And then, okay. Because if it wasn't for the Matt Reeves making a Batman sequel, that would be my 3rd nominee. So I'm gonna have to think. So Brock, go ahead. I got to think about number 3.
I was going to just say Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, but then I've realized they probably aren't going to do Batman anytime soon.
Because the perfect version, if this title wasn't radioactive, would be your second movie is called Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
you have to think of a new title though, unfortunately, because that's contaminated. That's like got a 10,000 year nuclear half-life. That title.
Speaking of a comic book movie I haven't watched, it's never, ever, ever will I watch that.
It's not that bad.
It's horrid.
There's worse.
Horrid.
You've never seen
There's worse. Brock, horrid. What's your 3?
I mean, Superman is there. I mean, it's hard to say, with the Batman stuff, like it would be the core, right? The Trinity. But yeah, I think you can have a Green Lantern movie. You could do a Flash movie, right? Like I think.
Well, Flash is this year or next year. Like
no, but I know, but like it could be something where like that's something that they throw at people, right? Like maybe they're like, no, we want Flash there. We want like something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would lean more towards the Trinity, but again, it really just depends.
My guess is they go 1 a year. So we get Superman 1 year, Batman the next year, Wonder Woman the year after that.
Yourself in the foot again with like delaying everything.
Well, because they're going to have a mix of characters. I think Superman, Nightwing. I think that's how you get your DC, your Batverse. Nightwing's a mega popular character. He's young. right? They want to start some of these guys young.
Ass shots for days.
You want to give Batman a little bit of time. You want to give Wonder Woman a little bit of time. I think Nightwing is a good answer. I'm going to go Nubia.
Whoa.
I think they're going to give Wonder Woman some time. I think they'll do it. You have some small characters come in, but it's disconnected tissue, right?
Right. Fuck it, just give me.
I got my number 3.
Wonder Woman Historia as a movie.
I got my number 3, and this is the interest of the first 3 out of the gate. We want to get 3 different flavors of DC, so you can see kind of the wide expanse of the universe: Superman, Green Lantern, and The Question.
I love it. Day one, all 3.
Well, is it Renee Montoya Question, or
doesn't matter? She takes over the role at the end of the first movie.
Yeah, she's like his unofficial helper inside the Gotham Police Department for the whole movie.
Is that who Michael Keaton is playing?
And that's your Metropolis, Gotham,
outer space.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to, the outer space stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Superman is and should always be priority number 1. Look, everyone loves Batman, but you don't have to try too hard on Batman. Superman's a tougher sell. All right, that is
By the way, for the record, just because I mentioned it, my least favorite celebrity social media response of all time. Oh, Brock's going to miss it. I'll have to tell him later. Deborah Ann Wool, the actress from Daredevil, was posting something about a charity auction that she was involved in and like how to bid, and this is blah, 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 blah. And the first response, first response was, have you ever thought about doing porn?
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought that was going. I thought you were going to say it was just someone asking her why if she's in Daredevil.
No.
Wow, okay, yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that's why. Well, I don't know what Twitter Blue looks like these days. So I was going to say, if you're a celebrity, all that stuff gets filtered out and you never see it. That is it. That is our wonderful podcast. Whatever, and then next week we'll get this all wrong again because it'll all come out and everything will be different. But man, it's going to be an interesting couple of years to find out what happens. I do want to thank everyone who listens to this podcast all year long. Thank you all very much. Like I said, we will be off next week. It is Christmas, so we will be skipping next week. We'll be back right after the 1st for our best of 2022 episode. We'll talk about all sorts of nonsense.
I've done research. I did homework.
Nice. I haven't. I do the hard part. I'll do all the recording and I'll do all the prep. So I'll do it. Of course. Yeah. No. I go by like my list of like comics and movies and stuff. Yeah. I'll post some stuff for us. Don't worry, guys.
Are we doing all?
Oh, and I'm gonna post in the chat too, in the Facebook page as well. If you're in the Facebook group, I'm gonna post some list of the comics and movies and TV shows from this past year, so you can vote. Yeah. I did last time. And look, I don't, it doesn't really, but please, for the love of God, 3. You can vote for 3 in each section. 3. I can't limit it. I don't think I can limit it, but we ask 3. Don't vote for 9. You can vote for 1, I guess, if you only want 1. But just 3.
Just go make a Survey Monkey.
3 in each. 3 in each. 3 in each category. See if you can make in each category. It's fine.
Just make a survey.
Nah, like people see them, and so people can add. In case I missed something, especially with some of the books, like they want to add stuff. So, go on Facebook.com. Was it Facebook.com/group/Geekbox?
Yeah.
That's our Facebook group, and you can vote. I'll get that up this week before Christmas, and then it'll run through the recording after the 1st.
It'll run for about 2 weeks, hopefully.
Yeah. So thank you to our high tier Patreon backers: Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at ClearPathCoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much for your continued support, and everyone at Patreon.com/ComicConspiracy. Head over to ComicConspiracyPodcast.com and Apple Podcasts to find all our previous episodes. You can go to comicsconspiracy.biz and purchase books from us there for pickup or mail order. So tons of stuff on there. Brock's website is conspiratorbrock.com. He's has been a little lax on doing stuff recently, but maybe the new year.
We'll see.
Kick in the high gear, get some new content up there. Charlie has the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. It's all about Doctor Who. You can check that out. And Kevin does for the final time, Kevin, the Eisner Award nominated Fanbase Press. Kevin is
I don't want to name drop, but Daniel Warren Johnson told me I should brag about it forever. Much like saying Academy Award nominee in a movie trailer, but you never have to stop saying it.
I work in Eisner nominated Comics Conspiracy.
You told me, like,
I said my statute of limitations was the calendar year of the nomination.
Yep.
That's just me.
That's it. Between the panels at Fanbase.
Changing the name for 2023 now.
Between the panels
and Pan.
It's his weekly interview series. Go check out some of those creators over there. And my wife Leanne is at leannehill.com. You can find her art at etsy.com/shop/LeanneHill Art if you'd like to buy some prints. And if you are, well. I don't know what Twitter's going to look like by the time we come back.
But we can share all of our social media here freely.
As of today, 58% of people on Elon Musk's Twitter want him out, and I
have
not been told he has tweeted since. I was told he had not been tweeted since. I don't really check Twitter anymore,
somebody responded with only blue checks should be able to vote on policy changes, and he was like, we will be implementing this. So
I guess I will.
It only took him how long to apartheid Twitter?
I will unblock and unmute him. And
why?
Oh no, I guess so. I guess he has tweeted again since. So yeah, never mind. Fuck off. So he is. He may be gone by the time we get back. Who knows? Nobody knows. He's a fucking nightmare. If you were on Twitter, you can follow me at Ryan Higgins Ryan. If you were on Hive's back up, baby, Matt Ryan Higgins. They're in the process of getting all their stuff fixed. So tweeting on, I'm hiving, I'm buzzing on there occasionally, buzzing on Hive. Brock is Brock Sager at both. Yeah, you're Brock Sager on Hive too.
I got it at both.
Yep. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's in Sandy and Chaos. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. Are you
at both?
You hiving?
Yep. I haven't actually used
Kevin
it,
Sharp.
but it exists.
And you're on there. Yep. Comics Con store, and go check out Geekbox. We will have an episode next week. Geekbox, final episode of the year, and then our friends over at Manga Machinations. Thank you all very much. Thank you for listening this year. By the way, it's been an incredible year for comic books, movies, and news, all sorts of random garbage. Busy year at the store. Jesus Christ. I don't know. That'll be next episode. Next episode, I have so much to talk about.
Sales charts?
About the year in 2020.
Sales charts?
Huh?
Sales charts?
Oh, yeah. I'll have our sales charts for 2022. Yeah. If Comic-Con puts something out, sales charts, they're just not.
They can't be accurate anymore.
They're just not the same anymore. Just the entire industry has shifted. There's nothing.
I was meaning your personal sales chart.
Yeah. Yes, we will have our. We'll have our store
just doing how store stuff. Like, what were the top books for our store?
Yeah. We will have our store sales charts next year for sure. So that'll be on next week's episode in 2 weeks. Yeah, so much crap. We'll talk about everything. That is it. Goodbye. It's good year. Celebrate Christmas and or whatever you do. Happy holidays, as they say. Catch you 2023. Goodbye, everyone. People.